And of course, in my last show, I have technical difficulties. It's not surprising. Good morning, all, and welcome to Kal-bardr's Corner for this final episode of Coffee with Cal. I am bearing Kal-bardr Gellir, Commanding the Meridian Cross, Commanding the Argent Comet, Commanding the Pilgrim Star, Commanding the Palmer's Lantern, Defender of the West, and Reaper. Coming to you live from the KK Production Studio here in the beautiful southern coast of Meridies. The show today is coffee themed, of course, so let's first talk about our beans. That is the most important part of my day. So today I've got so I picked up a couple coffees from a mentor of mine, Thane Sampson, past guest here on Kal-bardr's Corner. He gave me a couple of things from his homeland of North Shield now. So this is Bear Brothers Coffee Roasters. It's called Doe Eyes. This is actually one of two he gave me from the same company up in Wisconsin. And the other one was Bog Grog, which is the standard sort of grog caramelly thing. It was really good. This is Doe Eyes. I don't know what it tastes like. It has a flavor, and I can't pick it out. I'll be honest, but it's really good. I'm actually really impressed by them. The coffee's really good, and so yeah. So if you're in Wisconsin, check out Bears Brothers. Then like I said, Watertown, Wisconsin, they have a cafe and retail store. So pretty good. So thank you, Sammy, for the coffee there. And of course, the mug. So this is my Master My mug all the way from Avocal. Picked it up while I was up there for their Crownless event. It has already been broken and repaired once. I broke my handle. I had it like an hour, I think, and I dropped it on my foot and broke the handle. But My is amazing, and I found this mug, and it's got a good handle on it. It's got a good weight, and surprisingly, is big, but isn't too big. So I'm happy with it. So it's good. So thank you, Mai, for the awesome mug you made. She says she is not a potter. She just does it as a hobby, but I think she's very wrong. I think her stuff is fantastic. So there you go. There's our coffee. There's my introduction. If you're out there watching, please let me know you're in the comments. Introduce yourself over there, wherever you're watching at. I'm not. I've been doing this now for a couple years. I still don't know where the hell things are on the screen. So check it out. Let me know you're out there watching. If you have questions during the show, pop them in the chat, and I'll address them as I can. Also, there are 42 of you watching. This is now my most well-watched Coffee with Cal ever, so this is kind of funny. All right, so a couple of things before I dive into the topic of the day. So I want to do a couple disclaimers. So I have talked on the show about giving you guys data and information and just putting the information out there, letting you talk about letting you sort of decide what you think is best. So that's what I'm going to do today. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and I want to go through that. I felt it was dishonest to not talk to you, my viewers, and I wanted to do it face to face, I guess, before I, kill things here. So the disclaimer I give, though, is I'm going to give details and data. I'm going to try to keep it impersonal and vague. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name people. I am not asking for any negative action. I'm not asking for any violence or anger or any of that stuff. I get it. This has been a lot. It's been a lot for me. Trust me. Trust me. I'm also not laying blame on anybody. I'm not laying blame on the SCA or the kingdom or any of the people involved. Frankly, this is still ongoing. So this is not even this is not the end for me personally. Yeah. So just not laying blame, not asking for negative action. We're being chill about this. We're talking about what's going on. All right. So, and thank you for the folks in the comments, and I'm already seeing some support, and thank you for the support, and thank you for all those who reached out recently and given support, who know what's going on, who have been given some details or have seen some of the things like on Reddit, for instance. All right. So, background. So December of last year, I was informed by the Kingdom of Meridies that I was under investigation for some complaints. I was not told then or since then what the complaints were. Part of their investigation process, they don't tell you. They just tell you you're on investigation, and they do the investigation. My investigation went on for roughly 9 months. I was contacted somewhere in the middle of that by the Kingdom investigator and asked some questions about some of the incidents he was looking into. And I responded. He went on with his investigation. I responded with some feedback from my partners and said, okay, here's what happened. What am I missing? We talked through it. I had people review it. I tried to take my time, make sure that the data was there, and I was giving non-emotional, factual responses. Responded to that when the investigation went on. About a month ago, excuse me if I don't have timeline written down on this, so some of the time may be a little off. But about a month ago, I received an email back from the investigator, or actually about 2 months ago, got an email back from the investigator saying he had finished the investigation, sent it on to the kingdom. Kingdom then made a decision and sent me a letter. Seneschal sent it to the Crown. Crown then made a decision, as they do. The letter I got, and I summed it up here on the channel, basically said, some of the questions, some of the complaints were maybe valid, but were not none of it was actionable, and that's the important part. None of it was actionable. There were no sanctions levied at the time, based on the investigation. So, cool. The letter had some great advice. There's some things that I could do better. There's some things that I definitely need to work on. I'm not the easiest person to work with on a professional level, on a volunteer basis. I get it. I'm a polarizing individual, have been for most of my life. So I understand that. I made a post here on Kal-bardr's Corner about what was going on because I had mentioned on the show a couple times that I was under investigation. And I did not talk about it during the investigation because I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I did have my email. That's all I had. I talked to my peers, talked to my partners. I went through what I was going to post. Even peeled it back some. I wanted to post everything initially, didn't. I chose to just post a summation of what happened and sort of what I was told. So I did. About a week after that, the world blew up. And that's what I'm going to leave that at. The world exploded on me. These last few weeks have been tough. I've lost friends. I've lost patrons. I've lost hosts. We've lost guests. And that's a lot of that's partly why I'm having to do this now. That following week, I got another message from the outgoing Crown of Meridies and the incoming Crown of Meridies saying that I was banished and exiled. So banished from the incoming Crown's reign. So they had 24 hours left. So they chose to banish me from their presence. And then exiled from the incoming Crown's reign. So couldn't go to any events in Meridies or participate in any Meridian activities. The reason they gave was doxing, not the investigation. I'll be very clear about that, because that wasn't published, can't be published. I sat back with that for a little bit. Things went as they do. I have filed an appeal with help of my partners to file an appeal for the doxing. Sorry, for the exile, rather, because of the doxing. We filed that appeal, sent that up to the Society Seneschal and Meridian Seneschal. Yesterday, I got an email from the Society Seneschal. The board of directors met in their quarterly meeting yesterday, like they do. And they have chosen to issue me a temporary removal of participation and order an investigation themselves due to reported violations of the SCA core values. That's all I was told. So I don't know what they're investigating. I don't know what complaints they're investigating. I know some of the complaints I've read, and those of you who are out there who are on Facebook or Reddit or TikTok have seen some of the complaints as well. So I don't know what they're investigating. I don't know if they're investigating the doxing. I don't know if they're investigating the complaints. I don't know. I do know that I'm under temporary removal participation from the SCA. So I cannot participate in any SCA activities, any official SCA activities. So no events, no fighter practices, no Facebook groups, anything like that. That was the final nail in the coffin for me, for this channel, for KK Productions as a whole. I had been chewing on this. It was funny. I was talking to my partners the other day about some things, and talking to some friends of mine. I've talked to multiple peers who I trust, and this channel was started as a venue, as an outlet for me. I was bored during COVID, to be honest. Right? That's why I started it. That's not what it turned into. So that's where it started. I always joke that it was what happens when a project manager loses his hobby and his job in the same month. Because I did during COVID, and I started this. Throughout these months, these years of KK Productions, we've had, so many. And it's funny. I mentioned technical issues. I wanted to look up how many shows I'd done, and I'm going to try to pull it up here. How many shows we've hosted, how many things we've done, because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what we've done here, and I want to be clear that this is not a. I gave you the data. I'm giving you the data of what happened. I'm not happy about it. I want to be very clear. I think some things that I'm going to keep to myself. And I don't want to do that, but I've also been advised that I need to be careful. I am still under investigation right now. So anything I say or do at this point can be held against me. Right. So I'm being careful with that. So I gave you the data. I have some thoughts. I'm not happy. I'll say that. I don't think anybody would. I think that's sort of a logical thing. But I wanted to look back on sort of what we've done here. And I looked back on KK Productions as a whole. And I realized today, and excuse me for this is no longer bringing me joy. I was dreading doing game boards. I was dreading doing upgrades to Patreon stuff. I was dreading. I've had to cancel 2 different shows. I'm losing guests back and forward and backwards. So it felt like it was time to end it. It felt like it was time to call it to sort of settle it down, turn the Patreon off, and move on. I'm not leaving the SCA until they officially kick me out if they choose to do that. I hope they don't. But I think this platform as it is no longer providing the value it could have. But it's the information is still there. So the YouTube's not going away. The Facebook's not going away necessarily. But it's the new stuff is not coming out. And I've talked to the channels that are still active. SCA Coach's Corner, Ask Nights Live, Griffin I News, a couple others, and advising them what's going on. And I'm supporting them through the transition. And I wish them all the best. And I hope they'll do fabulous things. And there's so many things they've done in the SCA that have launched because of things we've done here. And I'm not saying me, it's definitely been a we. I was just pulling up the data here. Let's see. Kingdom of Abacal, Fighting the World, SCA Coaches Corner. Alan's had 2 shows, Saga Saturdays, Ask Lance Live, Toka's Tech Tips, Polyam Perspectives, Misty History. I feel like I'm missing more. And then, of course, the shows here on Kal-bardr Corner, Coffee with Cal, Unpack Your Shit, Watch Play Wednesdays, What Makes a Night, Concert Conversations, Fantastic Fringes, Important People in History, Road to Retention, and Rekindling the Magic. It's been a lot. I don't know. I don't have the number of hours of data or just video that's on Kal-bardr Corner right now. It's a bunch. Oh yes, of course the Regina Rangers in Saskatchewan as well. And there's also Tristan, one of the guys from SE Coach Corner, is also hosting a podcast. I know Bernice Remoot also hosts a podcast privately as well. And then and there's been a bunch of shows that have spawned off of things because of what we've done here on KK Productions. So I'm proud of it. I'm happy with what we've done. Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Thorn. 3, 4, and Fat guys. Shout out to Holy and Fergus for helping me with that show as well. I haven't updated my spreadsheet in a while, clearly. But it's been fun, guys. It's been a blast. But I wanna leave it on a good note. So if there's questions, please drop them in the things. Talk about what we're doing. Talk about what's out there. I'm also happy, and I've said this from the beginning. I will share anything with anybody that wants to know. Privately. So if you want to know what's going on in the investigation, if you want to know what happened, what data I have, I'll share the data to you. Just like I have a dozen of the times already. I know others have asked, and I like I said, I provide that because I have nothing to hide. I will answer any questions. I'll talk about what I know. I'm trying to keep it private for my safety, I guess, the safety of those complainants, because admittedly, there's some things, and we've talked about this on the This Just In, which I see Drusha mentioned. Thank you for that, Drusha. I forgot about This Just In as well. The SCA investigation process is not great. We are a weird little organization that protects itself first, and it doesn't necessarily do the things that we as the people think would be the best all the time. I'm happy for what they're doing. I'm happy that they're doing an investigation. A friend of mine reached out to me earlier and said that he goes, yeah, this sucks, but at least they're doing an investigation. At least they're actually looking into it, and the goal is they're going to find the same thing that the previous investigation found, which is nothing actionable. So that's the goal, right? I'm still here. I'm still kicking strong, and I definitely trying to keep making the SCA better, which has been my goal since the beginning. Thank you for that, John BF. So it's funny. I've been sitting. By the way, my partners all told me that I shouldn't do this live. And I'll tell you why I did this live. So I have super anxiety about things like this, and I have been sitting in bed the last week, few nights at least, writing a script of what I would record as a farewell, as a final. And I did it so many times that I don't even know now. Like, and I've even written this show out a couple times in my head, and I've already off that train, I'm sure. But yeah, I chose to do it live because if I don't do it live, I'm not going to do it. And it's funny. I think that's why I've done all these shows live. It's why the only ones we didn't do live were Important People in History, because it was other people simply recorded bits that we then spliced together. But all these shows I've done live because I'm crappy at writing a script out and sticking to it. Like I look back at the ones I did for like the Meridia's College of Heralds and some of the classes I've done, which are classes, and those are they're a little better, but they're stilted. They're fake. They feel fake to me. It's great data. It's great information, right? And for what it was worth, for what it was for, it worked out great. But yeah, so I chose to do this one live as much as it was. I was told not to, and I was told that maybe I shouldn't. I should record something. I was like, I need to do this live because I think you guys deserve this, and you guys deserve me. And it was the only way I was going to get through it, frankly. So, yes, that word I can't talk today, but yes, there's something to be said for live video. So, and I think that's what for me, it's one of the things that Kal-bardr Corner has really. That's one of the benefits. It's been like the fireside conversations. That's what I always tell people when I was sort of pitching the show at an event. It's the conversation we would have around the fire without the fire, and so I think that's helped, and it's why I think the interviews we've done here, and it's why the interviews have not been interviews. It's why they've been more about conversations and more about just having that chat with the guest, so we can talk about that. There are comments I'm not putting up. It's not because I don't agree with you. It's because I'm trying to keep this positive. I thank you for the comments that are out there. I'm trying not to delve into into anger. Trust me, I get it. So, and cool. So, Effin, one of the hosts of Ask Science Live out there, a technical guy, said Ask Science Live will resume after the first of the year. So, I'll make sure they have everything they need to be successful. And Effin and Honora and Little John have done amazing work with that show. I know Logan and I are both very proud of them for what they've done. So, all right. So, I knew this was going to be a short show. And thank you all for tuning in. There's 60 of you out there. Jesus Christ. It's funny. Like I said, this is the best show I've ever had now. I think I'm done. I think this is it. And it's going to be funny that I'm going to end with coffee in my cup, which has never been the goal of the show. My ask for you, and this is the disclaimers, ahead. Keep being awesome, right? We've done a lot of work on the show, and we've done a lot of good. We've had a lot of good conversations. People like Jerusha out there, the Virtual Herald, have done a lot of good deep dives into what the SCA is doing. There's a lot of good out there the SCA does, and the SCA is a good place. A lot of people shit dog it. I've seen a lot of people who've left the SCA or sort of on the boards of the SCA who are just mad about it. I don't understand people that are mad about the SCA. I don't understand people who play in the SCA who are mad about the SCA, who just sit around and complain about it. I don't get it. I don't understand that. I'm here to make the SCA better, and that's been my goal since the beginning. And I appreciate others like Trish out there that do that as well. And there's so many of you out there that are trying to make the SCA better. Keep doing that, regardless of whether I'm here, regardless of the Kal-bardr Corner's here. Keep making the SCA better, because it is a good place. This community is amazing. You guys are amazing. I'm trying not to cry. This is me not crying. So, on that note, I'd like to thank the patrons. I'm gonna put this up for one last time. Some of those have been there since the beginning. Some of those are relatively new, actually. So, and you'll notice there's a name missing. I don't fault them for whatever reasons. But I want to thank all of them for being here. I want to thank all the hosts from Kal-bardr Corners and all the other shows, and all the guests we've had. Yeah. But for now, and until next time, this has been Cal, Kal-bardr Corner. Have a good, everybody.